Hi everyone, it's Kayla Hawks here, and I am presenting my paper on technology and organizations. The reason I picked this topic is because technology is evolving all the time, and it's really important that we understand how organizations are beginning to evolve with it in the workplace. So I hit a couple different topics. The first one being generations in the workplace and how technology affects them. Furthermore, we talk about the advantages and disadvantages of technology and what that looks like coming with disconnects from communicating and also an organization standpoint. So, without further ado, here is my research paper. So I began by talking about, like I said before, generations. I found that older generations do have an issue with workplace technology, but as many people think it has to do with them just not being used to it and them having to learn something new, they actually don't dislike technology. They just prefer to have a face to face conversation, have a hard copy because that's what they grew up with. They think that by using technology in the workplace that they're actually losing just that human interaction that is really important to them. So that was what I found in my studies that actually was the problem to older people in the workforce. Um, Next, I started talking about the younger generations like millennials, people in their 30s ish, people who grew up using a little bit of technology and are now shifting into the workforce. So these people actually prefer that their job uses technology. I think that the point of this is that we all grew up using our cell phones, we grew up using laptops, emails, those kind of things, and we're used to keeping that kind of stuff organized. So with that, we enjoy our workplace having technology and being engaged because we think that that will make us feel more successful in our jobs and in keeping things organized and things like that. I have found as well that millennials and these younger generations tend to be a little more shy, and I think that is the disconnect with being used to using technology. So I think that having like workplace instant messaging, workplace email, that kind of thing helps them feel more connected to their fellow workers, but also still keeping that wall up where they don't feel uncomfortable. Okay, so now talking about the negatives and positives of technology in the workplace. Technology has been making a shift into the workplace for a long time now, and it's impacted a lot of people on the way. But it is continuously growing, so workplaces are continuously having to evolve as well. One of the positives of working with technology is teleworking. So, with teleworking, this gives the flexibility of single moms, of people who have an appointment, of people with disabilities, people who are sick. They're able to still do their work because they don't have to be in the office. So they might not be physically at work that day, but they're still able to get just as much done because they're working from home. And a lot of companies are actually shifting to that. As technology has started to go into the office, there's been more attention paid to the efficient use of the office environment. So people aren't going into the office just to play around on their laptops. People are actually going to the office when they need to and when they have a specific task to do. Other than that, they know that they're able to do it from home and they enjoy that. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is comfortability with technology. So, the more employees that are allowed to use technology at work on their own terms, like maybe they veer off and check their own email or they're buying something online that they know they needed to do that day, they'll feel more comfortable using it because they won't feel as much pressure. This is important, but it's also something that they really have to find balance in because you don't want to have that disconnect where you're just using it on your own terms at all times. But it was found that the more that employees were allowed to use it on their own terms, the more they actually wanted to use it for work purposes. Okay, so now in the latter, technology does pose some concerns for people in the workplace. Um, Kim and Christensen found that technology has become more accepted in the workplace and employees are using it for personal reasons more often when they're on the clock. So this still goes along with the teleworking kind of thing and people becoming comfortable with it. Um, but there is a huge issue with people using technology to scroll through Instagram or get on Facebook, and it's taking their time away from work, and they're not really getting things done that they need to. And this in turn leads to negative consequences and arguments for employee restrictions and monitoring. This is going to just cause issues in the workplace, so there always has to be that kind of balance. So, when I was conducting this research, I had a couple questions that I wanted to know, which was what ages really flourish when they're using technology in the workplace, and which ages struggle with this kind of introduction, and why. And when it is accepted and used, how can it impact the workplace both positively and negatively? And will it cause a distraction or eliminate stress? So these were the questions that I was asking as I was going through. I pretty much found exactly what I thought I was going to find. With that being said, that just older people have more of a disconnect when using technology. I thought that that disconnect would be there because of um, the issue of not growing up with technology, but really it was because they really value those face-to-face conversations. I found that there were great positives with the flexibility and the connections being made through technology. There is a downside with these people who are having a hard time balancing work and personal life with technology. So, in conclusion, technology has changed the way the workplace operates for good. As technology continues to grow and change, the workplace is going to have to keep adapting. Generations are going to shift and move into the workplace, and I think that in the end, this is going to turn out to be an easy adaptation to make because the younger people are growing up using technology. But I think that it's going to take a while before um, companies really learn how to create that sort of balance with technology. So, in order to link this to the Bible, I went ahead and did some research, and one of the stories that really stood out to me was when Jesus was working as a carpenter and he was using tools to build things. And we don't think about it like this, but tools are a form of technology. At the time that they were made to enhance, to help. And I think that that really is the sole reason that technology is evolving. It's all evolving to make our lives easier. So I think if we are using it in the right ways and to spread the word of God and to do good and to make our workplace flow easier, then I think that it's a good thing. Thanks for watching.